All right, so as you can tell, a little bit of a different video today. My home gym is pretty much getting finished up right now. It's probably at like 90% of what I want it to be, at least in the meantime. Obviously, as you guys know, if any of you do have home gyms, it's a never-ending project because you're always getting new stuff. But with that being said, it should be done at least for the next month or so. So I'm going to start off, going to go in like a full lap of everything. So first thing to go over here, this is my Titan Fitness, basically like standalone cable tower. So the cool thing about this is they make it in a short version. So my ceilings are a little bit short. They're like 7 feet or so in the basement. So there's a lot of like cable towers and stuff that actually don't fit in my gym because the ceilings are too low. So what you can do with this, obviously it's plate loaded. If you guys have home gyms, plate loaded's the way to go because that way it's just easy to move. You can reuse the same weight without having to buy like an extra $1,000 worth of like a selectorized machine. It's just not worth it at all, especially pain in the ass to move. So plate loaded is absolutely the way to go. It is also, I know I have my strap on here right now, but as you can see, it's also like a double pulley system. So I think their idea with this was that you could do like cable flies or something, but obviously, if you know anything about tension curves, since they're on the same post, that actually doesn't make the tension any better than like a dumbbell fly, so it just defeats the purpose. And then it gets weird because if you actually bring the cables in, they're like pulling on your shoulders and stuff. It's really odd. So this is, from a quality standpoint, it's decent. I'd probably give it like a 5 out of 10. From a cost perspective, it's actually really good. It's only like, I want to say I paid $189 for it or something, and it was new. So obviously that's not bad at all. I mean, obviously your budget is different for everybody, but for myself, I think this is well worth $190. I get a ton of utility out of it because it's a cable tower, so it's just so versatile. So generally good for arm training. I do a lot of stuff with my lats on here too. So definitely a staple in pretty much most of my workouts. So this thing's great. I would actually recommend this for pretty much anybody's home gym because it's so, like, the footprint is so small. I think it's like, that's got to be like 1.5 feet wide and like maybe a foot and a half deep. So it really doesn't take up much space. And as long as you have something to mount it to, like you could even just put it on like your wall in your bedroom or something, it barely takes up any space. And you don't need like high quality plates or anything. Like, as you can tell, these are just like crappy little concrete and plastic plates. But like I said, you're not really dropping this or anything, so you don't actually have to have like high quality plates. But this thing is great. Quality, not necessarily the best, but it is a home gym in here. So it's just myself using it. It's not like it's getting used every 5 minutes at a commercial gym or something. So I would highly recommend it. Not overly high quality, not overly low quality, but it gets the job done 100%. So back here real quick, I do have these there's like cap adjustable dumbbells or something from Walmart. They're like, I don't know, $40 or whatever. They go 20 pounds each. I did get another set right before COVID, or right after COVID shut down the gym. So these can go up pretty high. I don't really use them since I'm not doing a whole ton of stuff with dumbbells in my training right now. But nice to have. I mostly just use these plates for like extras on my cable. Next up, what we've got in here, this is just an extra lat pull down bar, just a straight bar. Came with my lat pull down. It's all right. It gets the job done. This thing right here. So this is a cap super easy curl bar. This was like $45 or $50 or something. So super cheap for what you get out of it. It is not the highest quality. They clearly the black bar is literally just spray painted black. Like the knurling sucks. You can even see there's certain spots where it's chipped. It's literally just like a silver bar that they painted over. So it's super low quality, but that's expected. So the reason why I got this over like the Rogue version, I don't mind investing in high quality gym equipment. That's not really the problem. Like, I would rather get something high quality and have it last forever than have this last me like a year or two and then have to replace it. But what this thing offers, in my opinion, that's just better for myself, is it's a much thinner circumference of the actual bar. And I know some people do tend to get wrist and elbow pain with smaller bars. I don't have a problem with that for some reason. I've never had any issue with that, and I'm not very injury prone anyways. So this thing is really nice. I find that when I use smaller bars for my arm lifts, uh, I feel it a lot less in my forearms, which is obviously the goal since I train, I like to train my forearms much more directly. So this thing's great. I would highly recommend it. It's a very cheap alternative too if budget is a concern of yours. The next thing I have in here, the last one, these are the Titan Fitness 20-inch adjustable dumbbell handles. So they are Olympic, as you can tell. The thing's literally just like a mini barbell. So you can do a ton of stuff on here. These are really, really good for basically any exercise that you would normally do with a dumbbell. Only thing that you might have a slight problem with is like a twisting curl or something, because as you can tell, if you were to curl, this kind of gets in the way. So it's not very compact. It is 20 inches. So that's the only time it's a problem. You just have to do like a supinated curl like this. Other than that, these things are incredible. They're like super high quality for the price. They feel super legit. They're super heavy. They're like, the knurling's perfect. Slightly thinner handle, which I like. I really don't like a big handle on dumbbells. These are excellent. I want to say these were like $100 or something. So again, really, really good price point there. I know the Rogues, I want to say the Rogues are like $150 just for a single handle. So you're looking at like $300 total. So again, if budget's a concern, these are a super, super good option. I've thrown those things around. They're beasts. I really like them. Over here is just some miscellaneous stuff. Forearm roller, a couple extra mag grips, knockoff mag grips. I do have like a band that I like to use for maybe some like nucleus overload for the arms. These are really good for banded face pulls too. I think this is just, I can't remember what they're called. It's like a monster mini band or something from American Barbell. Bunch of other miscellaneous stuff like some crappy plates, some extra cable attachments and whatnot. Tripod right here. This is what I film my normal videos with. Right here, this is a pickup I got off of Facebook Marketplace. This lat tower right here, Van Sui, or however you pronounce that. It's kind of the same thing as the cable tower. It's not like the highest quality, definitely not bad quality, but kind of in that like middle of the ground. I grabbed it for $100 on Facebook Marketplace. This is like one of the first things I got in the gym. The first two things I got, I did end up already selling though for something a little better, but it's all right. Gets the job done. The reason why I had to get this one is, again, because the low ceilings. Most of the other lat towers are pretty tall. So as you can tell, the seat I have really low to the ground. That just allows me to get all the way up, get that full range of motion. Plate loaded too, so you can obviously load as much as you need on there. That would never be an issue. But not too different than any of your other just kind of like standard home gym lat towers. The nice thing about this is it does have the seated cable row attachment, and it doesn't take up a ton of space. Obviously, very small footprint if that's a concern. I have like it's not small, but it's not big. I have like a medium-sized space down here that I use for the gym. This is super nice. So there's a, it didn't come with an extra cable, but if you do need like an extra cable, if you have one of these, you can just go to Home Depot. I want to say it's either silicone or urethane covered. I think 1/4 inch is what I got for the actual cable. And you just get some cable clamps for the end, as you can see here. You'll put the loop, so I can just attach that up to where the knockoff mag grip is now. Turn that into a low row, so that's super nice. Standard weeder plate tree over here just to hold some of my smaller stuff. I'm not going to load a bunch up on there. This thing is a beast. This is probably my favorite piece of equipment that I have. The versatility you get off of this thing is epic. So this is a PowerTech multi-press, and PowerTech I'm not necessarily a huge fan of. Their stuff is like, it's designed probably in like a not the best way, but it's built really, really well. It's like super high quality. Like this is some legit stuff. Like it's very heavy, very stable. It's super high quality. It should last you forever. Definitely one of the better home gym brands if you're looking for overall quality. But the reason why this thing is good is because a lot of people, and this is just my opinion, you don't have to follow this advice, but I think a lot of people spend way too much money on their power rack because they think they're so versatile. And yeah, I mean, they are pretty versatile based on all the attachments you can get, but the lever arms you get on a power rack are never going to be as good as the lever arms that you see on this thing, because the grips on this are actually closer together, and you're not doing like a super wide grip for anything. So you can actually do like some type of like a bilateral press or something, and you can actually where is it? It's right down there. So you can even attach these so they both go at the same time, or you can do single arm. I don't necessarily do a bunch of single arm stuff on here, but it is nice to have it feel more like a dumbbell rather than a barbell, so you don't get any like weak points or anything. But this thing's great. It goes flat bench, decline, incline. You can turn it into a shoulder press, and then you can adjust the height of the actual lever arm itself with this pin right here. So you just pull it out from the other side. So you could even sit down on this and turn it into like a shoulder press. All sorts of stuff you can do. So this thing's great. So if you were just to sit here, kind of tough to see, but I can press it up like this. I generally use this for flat bench. I use it for incline bench, and I do like to use it for shrugs too. Again, kind of tough to see with the camera angle, but you can just stand over the bench like this, and then you can just load the plates up here. You can do shrugs, you can do power shrugs. Overall, very, very high quality piece of equipment. I would highly, highly recommend this thing. Easily my favorite pickup, easily. Over here, this is just a pretty standard like leg extension and hamstring curl combo. Not the highest quality at all. I don't even know what the brand is. It's probably like, I want to say it's like Body Solid or something, but there's literally no logo or anything. It gets the job done. So since this is an isolation machine, so obviously leg extensions and leg curls are just single joint movements, you don't necessarily need the highest of quality. When it comes to like a compound lift, I do find that to be a little bit different, and I would want to go with a little bit higher quality if it was a machine. But since this is just a single joint, you can kind of just adjust till you're in the right position and go from there. So I just happened to find this on the marketplace, and I kind of impulsively bought it. It was pretty cheap though. I think it was $80, and I use it on every leg workout for extensions and curls. So that thing's great. Over here, this is my newest piece. So this is kind of like the centerpiece of the gym. Just a Titan T2 short rack. So when I first got this gym, for any type of rack, I was pretty much just looking at like a squat stand, because I do have the low ceilings, and most racks would either be the height of the ceiling or they would go slightly above. And that's obviously a problem, because one thing I wanted to be able to do if I got an actual full-size rack was pull-ups, and I wanted a multi-grip pull-up bar, which as you can see is right there. So what I did was I bought a flat bench, and then I bought just like a regular Olympic bench, and then I bought an actual squat stand to go with that. The problem with that is the squat stand was super low quality, and if I wanted to get a higher quality one, it would just be like the same price as buying an actual rack, which I just can't justify for just a stand, since there's just no versatility to it. But I did look around, and I finally found this Titan Fitness short rack. So this is a T2, and they make it short enough to where I think there's about a foot of clearance between this and the actual ceiling itself. So that gives me enough space to do any type of lift that I want to in the rack with enough head clearance. And then you have this multi-grip pull-up bar, where if I actually do a pull-up, there's head space above this. So I've got all the space I need to do a full range of motion pull-up. Most of the other racks, they'd be right up to the ceiling, so the pull-up bar would be right here. Like, obviously, I couldn't actually use it. So I decided to go for it. And yeah, this is the Titan T2. I can't remember how much it was. I want to say, oh yeah, no, it was like $500, including the multi-grip pull-up bar. It doesn't come with that. It's like a separate attachment. So $500 for this isn't bad at all, in my opinion. It's super sturdy for a 2x2 rack. Like, this thing is legit. It feels just as high of a quality as like a 3x3 post, but these are just 2x2s. Titan also has all sorts of attachments you can get for it too. So if you are in like a more compact space, this is actually a really good fit, because you can get all sorts of attachments. There's even like a hookup, as you can see down here, where you can add on like a lat pull down and a cable row. So for like a short little kind of like budget type rack, it is a ton of it has a ton of versatility. So this right here is the rep AB 30, I don't know, 3100 or something. I got this at the same time as the rack. This thing is legit. I want to say it was 300 bucks. So it basically goes from flat, it doesn't do decline, which is fine because I don't do decline, but flat, and then it has about, what's that, 5 increments to go on certain degree inclines, and then you can eventually go up to like a 90-degree angle bench. Super high quality. I really like this thing, and I feel comfortable benching on it. So it's legit. It's super heavy. Like, I can barely move it. Highly recommend this thing. Definitely going to have this for quite a while. Next piece, this is going to be the PowerTech hack squat machine. So I think the technical name of it is I think it's like the leg sled. It's a little bit odd of a name, but it's essentially like an inverted leg press. So instead of the seat, which looks like a leg press seat, not a hack squat seat, being down here and then the plate being there, it's just vice versa. So essentially it's like an inverted leg press, but it also has a hack squat feel to it because you're moving your actual body. You're not pushing the carriage. So plate loaded on the side. You do have to go pretty heavy on this. Obviously, this isn't a whole ton of weight. I just use it for storage, but you do have to go pretty heavy since if you look at it from the right angle, it's only 30 degrees. So I've been doing, I want to say 300 or so pounds with some accommodating band resistance as well. And I have to go super close stance, super slow, full range of motion with a pause. And I'm still doing like sets of 20. So I did order some more plates. You're probably going to have to go like 500, 600 pounds on this thing. But this is, again, PowerTech just crushes it with a quality. Like, this is some legit high quality stuff. Like, this thing is heavy. It's a legit like foot plate. It's solid. Couldn't say enough good things about this. It also comes with this calf raise attachment too. You just pull the pin out right here, and then this thing slides out, so you have the whole foot plate. That thing is super helpful because when you're in that position, it's basically emulating like a donkey calf raise. Super, super high quality. I really, really like this thing. I want to say it's about 1,200 bucks new. I ended up getting a pretty good deal buying it used on Marketplace. If you just take your time, guys, I mean, Marketplace is the way to go. But basically, what you can do with that is anybody can get a good deal on Marketplace, because if you're in like a more rural area, more people have home gyms since there's not as many commercial gyms around you, so you'll find more stuff to be sold. But then if you're in a more populated area, there's all sorts of gyms going out of business. There's obviously just more people too, so the odds of somebody having a home gym is also pretty high. So it's a good way to get stuff. I'd say just take your time buying everything in that. So right over here, this is just a standard barbell. I figured some of you guys would want to know. I think it's Weeder 300-pound barbell set. This thing is kind of a piece of junk. It gets the job done. I'm not lifting heavy anymore, so it's fine. This is probably one of the next things I'll upgrade. It's honestly just an average barbell, so there's no special features or anything. It's just, yeah, it's annoying. Also, I don't know why this is the case. I don't know if I can get it to focus, but there's like, there we go. So this entire thing on the end is grooved. So when you put the plates on, it makes this like loud vibrating sound, which is just super annoying. So I can't wait to upgrade that. I'm not like a barbell kind of nerd or anything. I really don't care. Obviously, as you can tell, I'm much more interested in my machines and everything. Right here, this was supposed to just be like a temporary pickup. I was just scrolling through Titan Fitness on their website. It was like 45 bucks, and this is a dip station, but it's actually much higher quality than I expected. From first look, I literally thought this was just a plastic dip station, and I thought it would just hold me over for some variety in the meantime. This is probably like the third or fourth piece of equipment I got, but I actually really like it. Like, the grip has the perfect amount of foam on it to make it kind of comfortable on your wrists. It's the perfect grip width where it's not too narrow and it's not too thick to where you feel like you have no grip on it. It's not that high quality, like it's a tiny bit warped, but once you're on it, it doesn't make that much of a difference. It kind of just flattens it out. I honestly might keep this thing for a while. If anything, I would sell it for a dip station that I can put on the power rack. Titan Fitness does have an attachment where you just basically load one side in here, it sticks out, and then there's a dip bar, and then you can do the same thing on this side. So that one is a little bit more expensive than this, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's a pretty cheap piece, so not that big of a deal. And then this thing over here. So final piece I want to go through today. This is just a random body solid row. There's a bazillion companies that make this exact model. Like I think Titan Fitness has one. I know Body Solid has one. There's 1,000 more brands that have literally this exact model. They're probably all made from the same manufacturer too, because they're literally all the exact same thing. But same thing with this as a lot of things I have. Middle of the road quality, but the engineering and the tension curve on this thing is absolutely incredible. So the quality is not that great. 100% not my best piece. The PowerTech's going to win this battle every day, but it makes up for it in the engineering of the tension curve. So as you can see, it's like a mini landmine. So that right there is the pivot point. So when you're at a full range of motion and this thing is just about touching that back piece, the weight is at like a 45-degree angle like this. So the weight, obviously, I can't do the exact math off the top of my head, but maybe the weight cuts in half. So a big problem with back training is the tension curve is just terrible for most people. And when I say tension curve, I'm generally talking about your own strength curve. Like we're always very strong at the start, but it's super hard to actually lock out rows. That's why cheat rows are very common. This thing solves that problem 100%. So for upper back training, this thing is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Again, not the highest quality machine, but it definitely gets the job done. This thing's probably $300 or $400 new. I think I got it for $250 on the marketplace. Average quality, nothing crazy, but it really gets the job done. And overall, it's a solid piece of equipment, so I really like it. But overall, I think that's it for the gym. I'll just give you a quick little kind of overview of everything right now. So you got the cable tower here, lat tower, and everything else is just this way like that. So a little bit of everything. One of my philosophies is a lot of people spend a lot of money on a power rack, and there's definitely nothing wrong with that. That's totally fine. They're super versatile, and at the end of the day, they cover a lot of the main movements that a lot of us like to train. But if you have the space for it, it's definitely worth getting a few extra machines or at least a couple cable towers and lat pull towers. It makes a really big difference in your training, gives you some versatility, and avoids a lot of those overuse injuries and burnout and fatigue that barbells and power racks will give you. So again, nothing wrong with it, but if you have an opportunity or some space to get some variety in your equipment, definitely worth it in my opinion. I'm super grateful that I have some of the space down here to make that happen. Definitely super grateful to find some of the deals that I did too. I know I didn't spend nearly as much money as I would have if I bought all this stuff new. Like I said, probably like half of this stuff is used anyways. So that's it for the gym. If there's any questions or anything that you guys have, definitely let me know. And with that being said, it is a home gym, so I'm sure every 6 months I'll have some crazy updates and swaps and stuff in here. So yeah, like I said, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.